What's happening, guys? Cooper Carter here for G66, and on this week's Fractal Friday, I'm going to show you how to very quickly create a sound-on-sound type effect to create a beautiful, lush bed, and then play a lead over it. On my list of top guitar performances live of all time, Eric Johnson's Cliffs of Dover from Austin City Limits rates really high on that list. And one of my favorite parts of that song is the intro to it, where he loops a chord using a delay machine and then creates this beautiful texture over it, playing some beautiful chords, and then later on a more overdriven lead. And then later on, David Gilmour created somewhat of a similar effect using delay as well on his Royal Albert Hall solo tour. And he played the introduction to Shine On You Crazy Diamond without any synths or any other accompaniment solo by just looping the different chords and then playing the lead lines over it. It's a really beautiful effect, and I refer to it kind of the way that he did as a sound-on-sound machine. And it's very easy to pull off in the FM9, the Axe-Fx 3, or the FM3. I'm going to be in the FM9 today. But let's take a look, and as always, this preset is posted at the link in the description below, and this week, it's part of Fractal's Gift of Tone series. So our first scene here is our sound. It's where we lay down the bed by playing a single chord. It sounds like this. A just incredibly beautiful, lush sound. I'm getting it from a Band Commander amp, set pretty clean. A little bit of compression here. 2 cabs, 412s, both legacy, and then a really lush chorus here, dimension 1. I've only changed 3 settings here. Its rate is 0.9, depth has come down, and the mix has come down a little bit. Otherwise, it's a default. I've got a volume pedal here that you can bring down that's attached to external 1 in case you want to swell in your sound for the chords or mute your sound while you're changing scenes over to the lead. And then I'm going over to this Plex delay here, which just gives a really lush ambient sound. But the real trick here for creating the sound-on-sound effect is this reverb. And in the reverb here, I've got the stack hold parameter attached to the control switch 1 modifier. And so this controller, if we go into the controllers menu, can be switched on a per scene basis. So in scene 1, control switch 1 is off. But if I go up to scene 2, you'll see control switch 1 turns on, and this reverb hold is now set to holding. So in scene 1, no reverb hold. In scene 2, the reverb holds. So I play a chord, and I switch up to that scene, and the reverb is holding indefinitely. Now this scene 2 here, I've got the Band Commander, but I'm boosting it a little bit with a BB Pre AT, so. Go back down to scene 1, and the reverb hold turns off and it finishes out its 12 seconds of decay. This Plex reverb is really helping, though, to make it not sound like everything just kind of drops out. If I turn this off in these 2 scenes, you'll see I set my bed, I move up, and the sound is really just way too dry because this reverb is not listening anymore to what's coming before it because it's holding. Scene 3 maintains the reverb hold here, but gives us the B channel of the amplifier, the Wrecker Liverpool in this case, with an esoteric ACB for a much bigger lead. So really, it's very simple to create a texture to play over. All you really need to do is actuate with your preferred controller this stack hold parameter, whether you want to use control switches like I have here, or whether you want to use something like scene controllers, which is another great way to change values throughout different scenes. But I've actually used another modifier controller pair here to kind of take this preset to the next level. And this is one of those things that really is easy in Fractal land, but would be kind of tough to pull off in any other type of unit. So what I've done here is on this mix parameter of the pitch shifter in this reverb, and I've got it shifted down a full octave, I've got this envelope follower attached here, and I've set the maximum mix to be 26.2% so that when I play, That lower octave kind of sneaks in there, and I've got a good bit of damping here on both the attack and the release. Just a nice effect, kind of subtle, that adds an extra dimension to the sound that I really love. And with so much control in Fractal units, it's easy to implement. So on scene 4 here, I've gone ahead and just recreated the sound on sound in a little more old school way that's not relying so much on Fractal's kind of unbelievable processing power. This is more akin to what Eric Johnson was doing at Austin City Limits. So I've got a delay here, and he used a tape machine for this effect, but I'm using the digital mono delay here just to keep the repeats a little clearer. And instead of using the reverb for the hold, I'm holding the delay parameter here with control switch 2. So the reverb here is set to a more normal type reverb. And when I play here, you can hear the delays carry out. But when I switch up to scene 2, you hear them start to repeat. And it's a much more pronounced effect. It sounds much less like a pad and much more like a delay that's just repeating over and over. So you get the kind of... And then finally, in scene 6, I've just added a little bonus scene here, which is my gift to you guys. This is not supposed to sound exactly like Eric Johnson's Austin City Limits tone, but it's what I've dialed in for my playing to really put me in that zone. And you guys may be able to tweak it a little bit for your own playing, but it definitely gets me where I want to be to recreate Eric Johnson's huge kind of early 90s expansive live sound. There's a good bit more gain here than he really had because, well, I can't play like Eric Johnson. So I've goosed the gain up a little bit to help you play fast. I hope you guys enjoyed this video on how to create a sound on sound type effect. If you did, please make sure to thumbs up, subscribe to G66's channel, and leave me a comment below letting me how you like to use this type of effect, and then also what you'd like to see in a future episode of Fractal Friday. And as always, if you guys want to get even more out of your Fractal unit, whether that's the Axpex 3, the FM9, or the FM3, make sure to visit classes.coopercarter.com for my complete Fractal Audio Masterclass series. For all things Fractal Audio, keep it right here on G66, and I will see you guys next week on Fractal Friday.